Alright, so I'm recording this video because I don't know what else to do besides trying to do something with a lawyer, which I don't want to do. Um, but so, just a brief story on those of you that might know me. Those of you that don't know me, I've been struggling with mental illness and depression, and recently diagnosed with PTSD, probably among other things. I haven't been able to afford to go to the doctor to get proper treatment for this stuff. Um, but what I'm discovering is that mental illness is treated like some kind of, you're automatically crazy if you say, if you say you got something wrong with you inside your head, which has absolutely become absurd to me because of the problems that I've been having. Um, the problems being that I think this medication they've put me on all these years has really screwed me up. Um, I've been withdrawing off this medication since my last hospital stay in March. Because after getting out the hospital, I've had multiple breakdowns that are not normal. Uncontrollable crying, suicidal ideations, um, all this crazy stuff. This not normal and indicative of the type of person I am, I would like to think. I've been in the hospital several times over the years because of this. I'm not ashamed of it. A lot of people in this world might be ashamed of their mental illness because it might make you be frowned upon or something. I don't know, but it's a serious issue that we need to look at as a country. And this story that I'm about to tell you is a slight hint of what I went through the other day that I think is pretty fucked up on the behalf of the state. So I've been withdrawing off this medication. It's a SSRI and a SNRI, which is serotonin inhibitors. And I don't know if y'all know much about it, which I didn't know much about it at all. All these years I've been taking a blind eye on thinking what these doctors are prescribing me are actually going to help me. These medicines are very harmful. They're very, very harmful. The withdrawals and side effects are horrible. If they don't work for you, they don't work and they do damage. I have vertigo, I have nausea, I have what they call brain zaps, very agitated, high body temperatures. It's not normal the way this medication feels. To go into a doctor and say you're sad, basically, and get prescribed this medication that's making me go through these issues right now is I don't understand it. I think there's more natural therapeutic ways to help people rather than just throwing these SSRIs at people that they don't know how their brain is working. These are serious drugs. You need to know what's going on inside a person's brain, what receptors are firing and whatnot. That's beyond me. But so I went to the it wasn't Lexington. It was a hospital to seek help the other day. I went in. I've been having trouble with these freaking brain zaps. They've been really bad. It feels like I'm getting electrocuted inside my head. I was sick. I've been sick. I thought I had pneumonia or something. Body temperature was real low, running a fever, vice versa for days. So I went to the doctor to try to get some help because I wanted to see if they had any kind of something over the counter or some kind of natural herb that I have not been able to read about that would help me with these brain zaps and these withdrawals off this medication that my psychologist may have not have told me about. When I got accepted in, I told them up front that I'm withdrawing off of SNRI and that I'm having brain zaps and I'm also having trouble breathing. Those were my main concerns. I go to the little intake, little lab where they, check your blood pressure and all that, and goes through the normal list of questions that I've been asked 100 times. And this one particular question completely probably changed the rest of my life. They asked me if I had suicidal thoughts, and I said yes. And upon saying yes, in my demented state, because I was just in a fog of just wanting to get some kind of relief, I immediately realized that I should not have said that. I could immediately tell that something happened. I was Immediately taken to the back, very nice, very professionally. As soon as I get inside this little room that you normally wait for the doctor, a nurse comes in, asks me to change it to one of them no back gowns. No problem. Put that on real quick. So I know that you got to do that. Well, next thing I know, she says, "Oh, wait a minute. I need you to do this." And next thing I know, there's a security guard there with gloves on. And I was like, "Okay, what's going on? You know, we need you to strip down and put this other outfit on." And I guess it was some kind of paper outfit. I don't know. And she wanted to search me. I didn't go to the hospital to get harassed by the police and to get searched. And I made that very clear with them. I was in no mood for them. I didn't, I've never been a violent person. Never have I threatened anybody up there or anything. So don't go thinking they got history with me doing that kind of stuff. I've never done anything like that. But a long story short, as the altercation went on, more and more cops started showing up. These were not Lexington, I keep on saying Lexington. These were the cops at that hospital that they were clearly had an agenda that I was going to be forced to do what I didn't want to do. So I guess the main issue I have was not only I tried to leave. They wouldn't let me leave. They made me very uncomfortable. I felt threatened because there was probably 13 of them, I'm guessing, 13 to 15 of them outside my room. And the whole emergency room was just sitting there watching. This fat black cop is the one that starts getting in my face. And instead of trying to de-escalate the situation, they're steady escalating it. I don't understand this. They wanted me to strip completely naked in front of all these people and change and put these other bottoms on. I refused to put these other bottoms on because I wasn't going to get naked in front of all these freaking strangers that I did not know, that were not nurses or doctors. They were law enforcement. They were not trained in to deal with what I was going through. That was pretty clear. And instead of de-escalating the situation, they escalated it and kept on escalating it. And I had no choice but to give in and strip down completely naked after this freaking cop slung the curtains open to show me the show of force they had outside of my room, that I had to comply whether I wanted to or not. That I had to strip naked in front of all these people because I said I have a suicidal thought which I cannot control because of this medication that they started me on years ago. It's a side effect. I can't help that. I battle with that every single day. That is, never had to deal with anything like this in my life. I was forced to turn around, put my hands on top of my head as they came in and searched me, which I didn't have anything to search. I was naked. And, then I was allowed to sit down and relax after I had a freaking nervous breakdown again that they caused from me trying to go get help. So, not only did I not get the help I came in there for, by the time I got my senses about me, all I wanted to do was get the hell out of there because I was scared as hell that they were going to lock me up and start doping me up like some of these people I've seen in these hospitals. I've always wondered how these people get so doped up that they can't even function, that I've seen firsthand. And I was scared like hell that was going to happen to me because they were going to start forcing me to do things I didn't want to do, and taking some of that medication was not going to be one of them because it has really screwed me up. Terrified, absolutely terrified. I have called the governor's office. I have called the hospital. I have called the state attorney general. Nobody will help me. A lawyer, I'm waiting to hear back from a lawyer. I haven't even heard back from the hospital, so I would hope they're investigating it. But this is not normal, people. When did the hospital become a police state where you cannot go get help? Instead, you will have your civil liberties stripped from you just because you have a thought running through your head. I don't care if it's a protocol that I activated or whatever. And if you think that's okay to treat people that way, then you're part of the problem. You can't treat. When did people start getting treated as a whole instead of individuals when it comes to things like this? I'm making this video to try to help get the word out. You know, mental illness is a serious situation we have in this country, and the medications they're prescribing to people are not good. They're not helping. There is horror stories out there on the internet of people having withdrawals off these medications, and I'm living it right now. And, you know, it's horrible. I don't know how else to describe it. You know, it's debilitating sometimes. I can't function. I haven't worked since January. You know, it's I can't get disability because I haven't been out of work long enough. So, you know, not only do I have that to worry about, you know, it's just you can't get help in this country when you really need it, and it's a shame. But I'm just making this video to see what y'all's opinions are. You know, maybe help get this story out. Maybe somebody will help me that way. I don't know. You know, I think the only reason why they let me go is because I had to tell them that, ma'am, I've had firearms in my household my whole entire life. If I wanted to kill myself, I'd have killed myself before I come up here looking for help for trouble breathing. Doesn't make any sense why y'all have treated me like this. And, you know, I think that's the only reason why I got out of there. I don't know. But it was left up to a social worker, not a doctor, a social worker, to release me out of the hospital. So, you know, what would have happened? What could have been the much worse scenario, you know? Who else could go in there this much worse than me and done, and they would have gotten detained against their will and, you know, locked up because they said they had simply had a thought instead of being helped. Thank you. Let me know what y'all's opinions are.